Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing good, and I hope you're staying with me on this channel. Um, I wanted to, first of all, let me find out how you guys are doing. And please let me know in the comment category how these messages are helping you, how you're doing, and what's going on with you. And if you're sharing these videos with other people who really need to hear the message. So I hope everyone is doing well today. And I was going to say that it looks like it snow out. Uh, I don't want to see that really, guys, until Christmas Day. But it looks like snow and it's starting to feel that way. I hope we're not getting it yet. But anyway, I'm back here today. I can't promise. The other thing I wanted to say is I can't promise what time I'm going to show up every day. So that's why it's important to subscribe to the channel, and then you will get a notification um, bell or button that will let you know when I'm on live. So please subscribe and share these videos. So today, the topic of discussion is embrace your path to healing. It's so important to do that and not to give up. Even if that path to healing might feel slow, or it might even feel like things are not going anywhere. It could feel like that, at times. I know when I first started 3 years ago, I was kind of forced into doing this, meaning that I didn't want to do the work associated with healing because it's a lot of work, a lot of looking at yourself, a lot of crying, a lot of pain. And I just didn't want to do it. But with everything that went on, I had to do it. Like I said, mental and physical health is everything. And we have to nurture our physical and mental health because without that, we don't have anything. So, for the newcomers here, I want to say welcome and that I am not a social worker or a therapist, and I don't have a certification or degree in that area. However, I'm on this channel to help other people because, like I said, during the shutdown, I've lost so many people, at least 10 people, altogether, including my dog, my mother. And it was just like a domino effect. And I needed to get on a path to heal, and on top of that, I guess what I wasn't saying also is that I was dealing with someone who was narcissistic. And that actually made it even more difficult for me to get on the path to healing because, every time I did try to start, then I'm dealing with anyone who's dealt with a narcissist, you know what I'm talking about. So, this is why, I talk about myself and what I had to do to heal because if I can do it, you guys definitely can do it because it's a lot of work and I didn't want to get on the path to do the work. Um, so I went into therapy, which I still do grief therapy every week with my therapist. I'm dedicated to doing that now. But in the beginning, I wasn't. It was very difficult. At times, we would just sit there looking at each other because it took me a long time to open up to him and to talk about what was really happening in my life and how it was affecting me. More importantly, what he would be asking me is how were these situations affected me in my life, which was important because, like I said, mental and physical health, if we don't have that, like if that's not okay, if our physical and mental health is not okay, then we're not okay. We can't function, So this is why I talk about that a lot. And I share different topics. However, all the topics are related to grief and some sort of anxiety or pain or trauma because all those things affect our mental health, whether it's grief due to loss of a loved one or grief or pain or anxiety or trauma. All those things affect us, our mental and physical health, which we have to heal. And and it's an ongoing process. It's not like, okay, after a few years, okay, I'm done, I'm healed. it's a continuation of healing, and you just take your time. You heal at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to other people. This person over here has healed in 6 months and I'm still going through A, B, C, or D. Never compare your situation or yourself to what someone else is going through, because we are all different and we all heal differently. So that's number one. Um, I have some notes here, so I'm referring to it as I talk to you guys. Sometimes I have notes, other times I don't. I just speak. Um, if I knew about the path to healing in a way that I am doing it today, if I knew this years ago, I would have been on this path years ago. Um, but as we get older, we learn about things, and we grow from it. Once I started to heal, one of the things that was difficult for me to do, which I had to do, is leave the past behind me. Because one of the reasons why I had to get on this path of healing, because I felt like I was almost broken from all the things that I dealt with most of my life, besides the um, narcissistic relationships. Just dealing as I was growing up, being subservient to people, family, religious situations, organizations that, I was involved with at the time growing up. Because we don't have a choice, whatever our parents get into as a minor, then we're into it as well. But this particular situation was um, me being subservient, even though I was feeling like situations that were occurring were unjust or unjust, and I was still being subservient to these situations. And I had to learn how to flip the script and do things differently. So I decided to leave everything behind from the past, because all these situations, as I did that list that my therapist had me to do for homework, the pros and the cons, not just particular situations, but all situations in my life, doing a pro list of all the good things and a con list of the things that are not good. And I had to evaluate these things and to understand that certain things that was toxic, I mean extremely toxic, I had to rid my life of it. Because what is the sense of getting on a path to embrace healing if I still have toxic situations and individuals around me? It will affect my healing tremendously. And it will take that much longer for me to heal. So I had to leave it behind, and it wasn't easy. Um, well, not ponder, but I just reflected on, you know, the situations and how I was going to get rid of the toxicity out of my life, the situations as well as the individuals. And when my therapist never told me you have to do A, B, C, or D, he would get me to think about the situation. And, you know, I would give examples of things and he would ask me questions about it. Do you think that was right for you to be treated in that manner, and etc. And, it helped me to think um, from a different perspective and know that I didn't deserve those things, and that I had to, if I wanted to stay on this path to healing, I had to clean house, so to speak. Get rid of the things that were toxic. It's just like if you're eating something or drinking something that's toxic to your system and it's slowly destroying your health. The doctor is going to tell you, you need to do something about that. And so I had to, take the bull by the horns and do something about it. And it took me a long time, people, to do it, because I kept going around and around and around with it. Because as I looked at the situation closely and examined it, that meant that I was getting rid of most of the people out of my life. And I had to do that because I felt almost broken, by all the things that was happening. And then not only to have all these people passing away on me and then losing my dog, but then having someone around me in my life who I thought we were going to be together. And this person was a narcissist, a diabolical one, with deception. And it made me realize you really never know people at all. You never know what people are doing. When you enter a situation with them, a relationship, whatever it is. And I had to rid myself of it. And it wasn't easy and it was hard to talk about. And when actually I didn't have to rid myself of it, because before I could make the decision to do that, what actually happened, a person rid themselves of me. And, I'm smiling about it because everything has a twist, not everything, but certain things have a twist in the storyline. And when a person tried to come back 5 months later, I was in a process of healing, really cleaning house and cleaning my life up and things that were in it that shouldn't be in it, and people, in situations. And when that person tried to return, it's like it's a no. They thought 100% if they had to bet in a game that, I got this, you know, because of how I was subservient to everything and, twisting myself in and outside like a pretzel, to be subservient. And after the person left, but what they didn't understand is the way they left. I had done everything that particular night to cook and, to order things and do things. And one thing about me, it doesn't matter who it is. If somebody is disrespectful or ungrateful and I'm doing, things to the best of my ability, you've lost me already because I'm really pretty much gone because I can't deal with that. Some people can and they will, reconcile me. I won't. I just know that I don't deserve that. So when a person tried to come back 5 months later, no, there is no returning. And they tried, believe me, a few times because they didn't believe me, but I meant what I said. There is no reconciling because there was no reason to do what was done. But sometimes, God works in mysterious ways. He has ways, he know us inside and out, and he knows certain things that's done that it's a turn off to me. And it just, that was the turning point when I, let that situation go because it was very difficult because it was someone who I really deeply cared a lot about, but it was toxic and the person didn't want to get on the bandwagon to heal. And, it's like going down a road and this person wants to go to the left, but like if you're lost in the woods and this person wants to go to the left and that the way to get home is to go to the right. And so, and they don't want to hear anything. They just want to do what they want to do. So you have to let them go. And that's what I had to do. And what I'm noticing too, as I get better and stronger, self-love on myself, which is important because when you love yourself, you're not going to put up with any and everything from anybody. And most importantly, people, you're not going to allow yourself to be disrespected. If something is a misunderstanding or something like that, because those things happen, any type of relationship you have, whether it's family, whether it's a personal relationship, business, whatever, things happen. But, you can sit and talk about those things. But I'm talking about when a person is trying to take advantage of you or use you or whatever it is, or in a toxic manner. See, those things is what I won't tolerate anymore. And what I've noticed as I got on the um, bandwagon of healing, that some people from the past figure, you know what? It's been a year now, maybe 2 years, and going to call Lisa. I'm going to see if we can reconcile and talk. And I had something recently like that happen, and a person wanted to meet up and etc. and so forth. And no, if you need to talk to me, we can talk on the phone. I'm not meeting up with anyone from the past because if you're in that category where I don't talk to you and I haven't spoken to you in 2 years or a year, whatever it is, then it's going to stay like that because there's a reason for everything that I do. I'm not stupid. Some people think, this girl is dumber than a rock because I'm generous and I'm nice and I'm love and light, but I'm not dumb. I don't handle things the way they may handle it or other people. I make mental notes. Let me explain it to you guys in this way. It's like the IRS. You know what I mean? The IRS, when you owe them money, let's say you owe them $1,000, right? And they send you a bill, blah, blah, you owe this, but you can't pay it, right? So you say, oh, I can't pay that right now. I'm not going to, deal with that. Guess what happens? You know, each time, each month that goes by, interest grows on that every month. And then one day, you may not even hear from them for a while until all that interest in a few years is attached to that $1,000. And then you get a demand notice. You got 30 days to pay this off. You got to pay it or else, that kind of thing. That's how I think when it comes to toxicity and situations with people. If it's something that is a misunderstanding because somebody's having a bad day, I'm having a bad day, and we butt heads or whatever, then we can get together and talk about it. I'm sorry, you're sorry, and etc. I'm talking about toxic stuff where people want to make you feel insignificant, make you feel less than zero, and make you feel that you can't exist unless um unless it's for them, you know. And this is narcissistic and it's extremely toxic. And that's what I dealt with for a long time. Or people who, you thought were your friends in your life and something happens and they don't have your back, they run off someplace and leave you holding a bag. And I'm not talking about something that you've done that's wrong, just some situation that occur and they don't have your back on it and they know about the situation and they know what's happened, but they don't have your back. They run off. And people like that I don't want in my life. And I consider that to be somebody, who we don't mix. And when I get like people from the past contacting me who, I'm talking about toxic situations like I described, there's no reconciling that because I make mental notes of all the stuff that's been done that is not misunderstandings, but toxic stuff. Some of the stuff I'm mentioning here, others things that have happened that I'm not mentioning because it has hurt me so bad. I don't act the same way. Some people act out of character, use a lot of profanity in people's faces. I don't do that. I'm going to address it. And if it continues, I'm out, you know, because I look at the situation and I see how many times it happens over and over again. It's toxic. And a person knows what they're doing. They're adults, they're not children. And I don't want that energy in my life. So I cut it off. Now, what I do also when people contact me from the past in that energy, and I'm like, I'm not interested in meeting up. I'm not interested in doing anything. However, I wish you well. Good luck to you. And that's it. Because I have healed those things or those things that made me feel broken and broken down, you know, from all of it altogether. And I have healed 3 years worth. I'm still doing work to heal because it's always an ongoing process, you know. But I have no desire to deal with any of these folks from the past. To me, quite honestly, it's like a dog going back to lick up his vomit. That's how I feel about it. And I'm just being honest here. And I have no desire to go back into something that hurt me really bad. So I have healed and I have no interest in it. To me, my motto is like this, people. Never allow a snake to bite you twice because the second bite might be deadly. And that's how I see things now. And I'm not talking from a place of misunderstanding. I'm talking about negative intentions to do something to cause you pain, hurt, just because I don't like you. I don't like the way you speak. I don't like the way you walk. I don't like the way you wear your hair. I don't like the job you do, or I don't like whatever it is. And no one has a right, whether they like an individual or not, to do things behind the scenes to try to mess up their life, to do things to try to create brokenness within them, and to break them down and make them feel insignificant. No one has a right to play God in anybody's life. That's the bottom line. And when I see that and it's over and over and over again, I disconnect from a person. You're not going to be part of my energy. You're not going to put out my light. I'm going to stay on this path to healing, and I'm going to help other people through these messages. And that's it. And I don't need to argue, jump up and down, or any of that. I just need to stay on a path to healing and stay focused. And that's why the title today is Embrace Your Path to Healing. Never allow anyone or anything to take you off the path, just because. And another thing, people, the reason for this, and it took a long time for me to learn this, I'm very generous with people, and I had to learn not to overgive to situations. And just if the person or situation I'm no longer attached to or connected to, it's because I've given my all to it over and over and over again. I'm not perfect. I have faults just like everybody else. However, when I give something, and I give and help and give, and that person is deliberately just taking and they're not giving anything to the connection, they throw in a breadcrumb here and there, then I'm just not going to have that individual in my energy, you know. Um, so that's that, and what I've learned also that many relationships, a few relationships for the past, whether they were relationships or friendships, a lot of people in my energy were narcissistic and just diabolical. And I had to see it for what it's worth. It's looking like a duck, it's quacking, walking, and talking like a duck. Hey, people, it's a duck. And I didn't want to see that. I was always making excuses for people. Well, he or she is going through this and that happened to them. That's why they're reacting like this. No, no, when a person is doing this over and over and over, like they're scheduling something over and over and over again to hurt you, call it what it is. And, I don't, make excuses for situations anymore. It's to me like putting your foot in a shoe that doesn't fit. And you keep twisting your foot around in that shoe and saying that, I'm going to make it fit. If I twist it this way, it's going to fit. And that's what I was doing with individuals, making excuses for their horrific behavior towards me and some of the things they were doing. And, I was just making excuses. So I had to learn how to call things as they were and how to detach from toxic situations. And anything I do now when it comes to friendships and especially relationships, I take my time. And when somebody wants to jump into something, we just, let's say we went on a date, a couple of dates, and they're ready to jump into some huge commitment. It's not going to happen here with me. I take my time with everything because I want to take my time and really get to know a person. Are their intentions pure? Are they pure? Meaning their intentions in general, and etc. And it takes time to get to know those things because believe me, when you're dealing, especially coming from a place of dealing with a lot of narcissistic people, and they don't show their true colors in the beginning. They're wearing this thick mask that you have to see behind it. But because I've dealt with it for so long, I know what to look for now. Because that mask is eventually going to twist or slip in some way. and I'm going to see what this is, and then I'm going to take a bow, and the curtain is going to fall because I don't want to deal with that. And I don't have to act out a character or do any of that stuff because that's not me. Like I tell people, I'm a woman, I'm a lady, and I like everything about being that way. And I'm, if I have to get to a point where I have to act in that manner, I'm just going to shut it down, and it's important to, and I'm talking like this to people, even though this channel is about grief and healing. What I'm talking about today is also part of healing, because when you're on the path to healing and you're serious about it and you're trying to stay focused, because it takes time, it's not going to happen overnight. But if you have toxic situations and people on and on and on in your energy, then that healing process is going to be extremely slow, or it's going to be stagnated because of the toxicity. And that's what I had to learn. And when I learned that and saw it for what it is instead of what I wanted it to be, then that's when and then I, detached from it. That's when I truly got on a path to healing, and once I remove all that toxic energy from my life started to get better. I could see now because the cloud was dissipating. I can see now. But whereas before things were cloudy, you know, and my life started to get better as I got rid of toxicity and toxic situations and individuals. And I would not allow that back in my life. I would never reconcile with it. And as I continue to heal, I'm here on this channel to help other people, because what I'm talking about, there's someone, someplace, or a few people that might be going through what I'm talking about. And when I talk about toxicity, verbal abuse, someone making you feel insignificant and less than zero with their words or whatever, nobody deserves that. And I know now, as I start to heal, that I deserve better than that. I don't have to put up with that. I have options, just as you guys have options. If anything is not for your better good, if it's not to enhance your life, improve it, then it's more than 9 out of 10 times it's toxic. And what I do is work on removing it from my life, because I can't deal with that. Because as I heal it, then I move on to heal something else. And the healing process is an ongoing one. So, guys, that's the message for today. Please share this video with other people. It's important to share, because someone who might be in your energy might be depressed. They might feel very low, with they might not only be depressed, but triggered by grief and trauma and situations that you may know nothing about. And they may not talk about it like I talk about things here. They may just be depressed and in pain. And this message will uplift them, to let them know that they're not going through these things by themselves. There's other people out here, and there is hope. There's a way to build yourself up. And one of the things is to do things that build up yourself. Self-love on yourself. Do things like music. It's the therapeutic way of healing yourself. A playlist of music, spending time with your pet, doing things to build you up instead of building other people up all the time and being subservient to them and forgetting about yourself. That's the primary factor here. Because I was forgetting about me and what was important to me, but building other people up and forgetting to build myself up. It's important, and to have peace. It brings peace to you. Peace is better than being in pieces, you know. That's the message here today. I learned to turn pain into power, power into a purpose into paying it forward to help other people who feel broken, lost, and confused and in despair. They need hope. They need to know that there is another way out here to help themselves so that they can put the pieces together. That's the message today. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday. Bye for now.